The three-tiered war, it doesn't go from physical to psychological to spiritual in reference to your soul. It goes into spiritual in reference to how you fit into this rhythm. Part of the rhythm is the reproductive rhythm between a man and a woman. It's as natural as breathing. In order to control both sides of that equation, you only need to control or break down the positive representation of those people, the masculine and the feminine, the balances of this natural cycle, the rhythm of this reality. This is obviously attacked with the monetizing, marketing, pushing, elevating from every angle. A specific community attack the protectors of nature. If you're going to make a business out of exploiting nature, you need to attack, demonize, and destroy, remove from the equation those who protect nature, those who exploit, which has been a proven fact of a certain demographic of people. But beyond that, it's a mindset that exists across the board in many different ways, positively or negatively. So an attack on the protectors of nature, on a physical level, you would put poison into their community. You would make them eat toxins that will kill them. You will surround them with alcohol. You will surround them with drugs, with guns, weapons, tools that were meant to destroy, creating a community of destruction with a musical industry, telling one side of the story and one version of the story in the mandated education systems. Make them teach their people to see the world and see the story as we do, and be successful by our standards in our world. If you speak on your world, you will be addressed formally. They will censor, they will erase, they will attack, and this has been proven over and over and over again. They lie. Their systems, their rules, their laws, the people pulling the strings behind the scenes are above those laws. The original names, the original people of the land, they have a relationship with the land. They have a relationship with this story, the story that gets demonized, that doesn't get told in the school system, that becomes illegal. Your spirituality becomes illegal. On a physical level, you are attacked across the board. On a psychological level, the schools, the medical industry, the addiction format, it is a design. If it exists in the physical, it exists in the psychological, and exists on the level above that. We see who it's attacking. We see what it's doing, what it has done. We've seen it written in the textbooks. We've seen ourselves written out of textbooks. We've seen people around us not want to talk about that story. We see it every day. We live in the shadow of this glorious giant of an illusion, with our radio stations burned down, with our physical systems destroyed, with our psychological systems attacked, with our spiritual representations removed from the equation, the Father removed from the equation as a story on a particular community, as is joked on in and around the whole world of that Western community. The facts are already out there. We know the attack it has a particular focus. As a commander would in a war, make a decision to attack. Which area, which demographic goes first? We've seen it on this land, on this stolen land. We've seen and have lived what that represents. The story is, the spiritual side of that is to remove the father from the household. The psychological side of that is the school system and all that goes with it, that information that lives inside of even their parents, the community itself. And the physical is the attack on your systems, on your organs, fluoridating the water, poisoning the food. It's attacking your reproductive system, literally cutting parts of that system off. This is that war. It exists in many different ways around the world, but it's the same story. This is why they have that false father as the representative of that Western, what they call a spiritual connection. The Jesus, Christ, without talking about all the other stories that are the same that existed 18 times over before this modern mentality, this modern relationship even existed. The same story over and over and over again to see if it still works. It does. People are realizing that it's all one big story. And underneath that veil, that story, is the truth. The world, without being forced to wear the glasses of the Western so-called civilization, removing even the need for their presence, empowering ourselves to do it, going back to what existed before all of this commercial version of what this story should be about. Part of that Western mindset is to push this idea of humanity to get away from addressing the storyline that predates all of this nonsense. This is why they are pushing, hurrying faster and faster to get to another power story. This is the presidential election. They want to push it even farther, make it more extreme. Shoot somebody. This is what they're doing. And people automatically believe it. If it's on the TV, it's believed. So they attack the men of men. Make them forget who they even are. Name them 2 continents and make them figure it out. In the meantime, we just won't address them. They will not be a part of the relevant storyline. They're not even relevant to themselves. They have no legs to stand on. They do not know who they are. This is the epicenter of that whole discussion. If you do not have lungs to breathe the essence of who you are, the lungs to breathe the air, to speak the words of the connection to the lands of who you are, you don't exist. You are a ghost. This spiritual attack on our people was the removing of the father from the house. The system of racism and white supremacy, that is the psychological attack. The physical attack is the drugs, the guns, the alcohol, etc. into the community. The father and the mother spirit that exists inside of you, inside of everything. There are layers, levels into the Most High. In this story of duality, the masculine and the feminine is a part of it. The whole story is becoming part of the discussion, which is why it's being elevated as get as many people to be on this side as quickly as possible. Attack the spirit of the father.